8:52, police and community relations will be the topic of a roundtable discussion led by U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder this morning in Oakland. He was charged by President Obama with examining the relationship between communities and law enforcement across the country following the fatal police shooting in Ferguson, Missouri. Congresswoman Barbara Lee is here, and she's going to be at today's discussion, but you stopped by here first to talk about this initiative and its goal. Good morning, Congresswoman.
Good morning.
Great to see you. So you invited the Attorney General to come, and you said you're very excited to tell him your ideas about change. What are some of those ideas?
Sure. Well, first, the Attorney General, and I'm really pleased and excited that he accepted our invitation to come. He only is conducting these sessions in Memphis, Atlanta, Cleveland, and Oakland. And, of course, we have a lot of ideas.
Okay.
And I think it's important to recognize the history of this district in Oakland and the East Bay in terms of the issue around police mistrust, around criminal justice reform, around police misconduct, but also the point that the community and young people have really fought for years for change, for systemic criminal justice reform. When you look at racial profiling, when you look at grand jury reform, I'm a member of the Congressional Black Caucus Ferguson Task Force, and so many of the ideas that we're going to hear from the community, that the Attorney General is going to hear, will be taken back to Washington, D.C. and translated into policies and into legislation.
So, but how do you take those ideas and that discussion at the table and translate it to people who are on the front lines, to both the police officers, you know, on the ground, and also the community members who are on the streets confronting those police officers?
But it's got to be a joint effort. You know, police officers are there to ensure public safety, and we are talking about more additional resources, for example, for community policing, but we need some real reforms. And I think the police department, police officers, and the community have to come together for these reforms. No one wants to see injustice in our criminal justice system. We should have equal justice under the law for everyone, and we know, of course, what is taking place as it relates to black and brown young men, and we've got to get this under control. Enough is enough. We have to move forward and have some real institutional and systemic changes and deal with racial bias, racial sensitivity training. We've got to deal with stopping and not allowing these weapons of war, which I totally oppose, onto the streets of our communities. And so there are many issues that my community understands, and they want it, the federal component of those issues. They want the Attorney General to hear it. They want Congress to hear it, and we're going to move forward out of today.
I know, and he won't be around for much longer, but hopefully his successor, potentially Loretta Lynch, will be able to pick up the mantle and keep going. Before I let you go, though, I do want to just quickly ask about Cuba. You're very, connected with Cuba. You've been there many times. Things seem to be so positive, moving in the right direction, and suddenly, has it stalled? Do you feel encouraged about the situation with Cuba?
I'm very encouraged. I've been really advocating for normalizing relations since 1977. Been there over 20 times, and it's very important that Americans understand that this is in America's best interest, it's in our best interest, and of course the people of Cuba deserve to have interactions with Americans. Americans deserve the right to travel to Cuba. We need normal relations. We need to end the embargo. We can create jobs by having trade with Cuba.
All right. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, see how things go with both that and also with your roundtable discussion today with the Attorney General. Good luck with that, Congresswoman.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Yes, absolutely.